You're brainwashed. Many of your beliefs are most likely not yours.
You receive them unknowingly.
We are governed, our minds molded.
Our tastes formed, our ideas suggested.
Largely by men we have never even heard of, according to Edward Bernays.
In this video, I'll show you how the brainwashing came to be, and how to purposefully brainwash yourself to stop other people from brainwashing you. Much of this is reliant on how you communicate to yourself, on your inner dialogue and self-talk. Let's begin. Who was Edward Bernays and why did he say this? He was a pioneer in propaganda and public impression perception. He worked for a very long period on tobacco industry advertising efforts, trying to encourage people to believe a specific way about things, whether or not they were true or not. He called the masses irrational and herd-like. He explained how trained practitioners might utilize techniques that are known as crowd psychology and psychoanalysis to exert control over the crowd and direct their behavior in the desired manner. This is something that media firms, politicians, and a variety of other people regularly engage in. They influence your views. Another illustration of this is when someone working in public relations suggested to John D. Rockefeller that he should hand out dimes to anybody he came into contact with. This campaign, which became known as the Rockefeller Dime, was a public relations effort to cultivate favor with himself and his family. This is something that certain renowned people, celebrities and royals, still do to this day in order to maintain goodwill toward them. Simply hearing that something is good, bad, or something else might shape our impression of it. Repetition implants images, messaging, and more into the subconscious mind. It's called TV programming for a reason. Edward Bernays was able to make smoking cool by convincing the public. Now we know there are few things worse for your health and longevity. Indeed, we can reverse engineer and brainwash ourselves to improve ourselves by using the same principles that have exploited us. Instead of letting other people shape us into people they want us to be, we should reinforce ideas that help us become the people we want to be. Belief is just a repeated thought. To put it simply, a belief is a repeated emotional concept that becomes ingrained in your brain. The way you feel about your views or thoughts matters most. Some thoughts are more charged or energetic than others. This is why some things provoke emotions, which are very like energy in motion. Some thoughts appear throughout the day and have no effect, while others make you emotional. Certain external factors will make you think emotionally. This is because thoughts become beliefs through feeling. In his tobacco business work, Edward Bernays consistently paired concepts with a strong sensation like freedom. This was utilized for tobacco because people were repeatedly told smokes would make them feel free. They believed this because they visualized it when they thought of cigarettes or saw the ads. So they thought and felt that when they smoked a cigarette or did X, Y, and Z, they'd feel free. Our beliefs paint our environment and form our reality, which is fascinating. This is why you have a mechanism known as the reticular activation system, or RAS. Because your subconscious mind stores all your habits and beliefs, the reticular activation system reduces your conscious mind's labor. Mentally juggling all of that would drive you insane. You couldn't do it. Your reticular activation system constantly monitors what you prioritize. Your reticular activation system's priorities depend on your beliefs. If you believe money doesn't grow on trees and you never have enough, your reticular activation system will bring things to your attention throughout the day to reinforce that view. Consider your reticular activation system to be similar to a nightclub bouncer. Things you notice in the club. All of these items, like everything else, are heading towards the bouncer's door. The reticular activation system, the bouncer, only lets in significant objects or aware mind guests. Let's say you have a more pessimistic attitude on life, and someone with a good outlook approaches you at the club. Reticular activation system checks the clipboard. Nope, you're not on list. I'm not letting you into consciousness. But then negative thoughts appear. The reticular activation system checks the list and says, oh wait, you're on it. You've been identified as important, you may proceed. The reticular activation system does this. When you're excited about something, like a new car, and you believe you can get it, you may notice that you're seeing it everywhere, even in the color you wanted. For what reason? Because you thought about that car and associated it with joy. It became a belief. The reticular activation system recognized, Okay, this is important. This is in the subconscious now. We want to continue presenting them and making them aware when this car is about. As a result, you begin to notice it more frequently. You undoubtedly seen that car pass you almost as often before, but you didn't notice. Thinking about something with a pleasant emotion helped build the belief, and the reticular activation system brought it to your attention. So now, knowing what we just learned, the question we must ask ourselves is, what are some ways that I could brainwash myself into believing and thinking in ways that benefit me rather than harm me? Well, for starters, you can begin with saying affirmations. Affirmations are positive phrases that depict a desired situation, and they are repeated frequently to help your mind focus on the positive parts of life. The secret for successful affirmations is to make them positive, present tense, personal, and precise. Instead of "I shall be successful," say "I am successful," and draw success into my life every day. Number 2, visualization. Visualization is an effective strategy in which you picture yourself succeeding and reaching your objectives. Make a mental image of the desired goal and use all of your senses to help you visualize it. The more vivid and detailed your mental image, the stronger its subconscious impact. Number 3, practice gratitude. By consistently expressing appreciation, you can cultivate a good mindset by changing your attention from what you lack to what you have. Keep a gratitude notebook in which you record your daily blessings. You can become more optimistic with this technique. Number 4, positive self-talk. Be mindful of your internal conversation and switch out negative ideas with empowering statements. Instead of criticism, treat yourself with care and support. Always keep in mind that your beliefs shape who you are, so cultivate powerful convictions. Number 5, keep a positive environment around you. Pay attention to the people, places, and media that you let into your life. Be with positive people who encourage your ambitions and well-being. Avoid negative news, unhealthy relationships, and pessimism. Number 6, set and achieve small goals. Reaching little objectives strengthens self-belief and boosts confidence. Break down larger desires into smaller, more manageable actions. Celebrate your wins, whether big or small, to stay positive. And lastly, number 7, subliminals and hypnosis. Subliminal messages and hypnosis have the power to directly affect the subconscious. Be careful and make sure these methods fit your values and aims. If needed, consult a specialist. You want to consciously modify your ideas and thought patterns to create the life you want. Consistency is crucial since these activities eventually change your subconscious. Control your inner dialogue and purposefully expose yourself to positive stimuli to brainwash yourself with empowerment and upliftment.